Hello, investigators, and welcome to episode 52 of 52 Weeks in a Row of Spy Curious, the weekly program for licensed private investigators and people who are going to be private investigators and studying to be investigators. We've now had 52 weeks of this program. I'm very proud of that. A lot of people have enjoyed it. I get excellent feedback about what's in it. So let's get on with this week's stuff. In investigations. Well, Probe down in Victoria are after a circumstance investigator. That means you're going to go out and interview people and take statements from them. Probe are an established licensed private investigation firm. They've been around forever. This is a great opportunity to enter the investigation industry in Victoria. You'll find all the jobs you see here today that I'm showing you at this Facebook job page. So if you just type in Australian Private Investigator, Corporate and Government Investigation Jobs, answer 2 questions yes, you'll get access to over 3 years now of jobs which you can research to see what happened in the past and match your applications to any current or new ones. So we don't leave them up there to pretend they're current, we leave them up there so you can research. But this week, Probe have a really great opportunity if you're looking for work. This is a massive one. So your call are looking for a head of operations in Victoria. So basically this person is going to be running the organisation. So if you are an experienced manager, they're asking for a lot. They're asking for some pretty heavy qualifications. Get on our Facebook page and see what they're asking for. But if you're just a little bit more experienced, you have some good qualifications, you want to head up a big national investigation agency doing lots of work, then your call has an opportunity there for you in Melbourne. Kerrigan's down in Melbourne, they're looking for factual and surveillance investigators. This job went up on the 10th of March. They're looking for people in Melbourne, Geelong, Bendigo, Ballarat, Mildura, Maui, Shepparton, Werribee, Wodonga. So get on the phone, get on the email, apply to Kerrigan's, see what they're doing. Now, this one's still available. It's Lead Investigator of Integrity and Ethics on the Gold Coast. If you're looking for work in Queensland as an investigator, that is a wonderful opportunity. Quantum Corp are looking for insurance fraud investigators in Victoria. So this is factual investigation for motor vehicle thefts, motor vehicle accidents, home burglary and fire claims, travel claims. So you'll be doing arson investigations, you'll be doing all sorts staged motor vehicle accident investigations, you'll be doing falsified home burglary investigations. This is a great opportunity to get in to Quantum Corp. They are a national investigation agency. Once again, been around forever, great people at Quantum Corp. Matter of fact, in Victoria, looking for factual investigators. They're looking for them all around Victoria. So an established investigation agency, they need factual investigators there in Victoria. So get in touch with Richard at Matter of Fact. He'll be very pleased to hear from you. The Australian Security Academy is seeking loss adjusting sessional instructors. So basically you'll be earning $150 for a 30-minute session. So this is beyond our assessment and training materials. It just adds a little bit of interest for our people studying loss adjusting at the Australian Security Academy. And it's a great thing to have on your resume that you're an instructor in loss adjusting for the Australian Security Academy. So you do business interruption or floods, fires, that sort of thing, experienced in general insurance or insurance in personal injury, that sort of thing. There's opportunities there for you in loss adjusting with me at the Australian Security Academy. Spouse Busters are looking for surveillance operatives all around Australia. So get in touch with Spouse Busters. Remember, you only have to go to this Facebook page to see these jobs that you've just seen there. If you've missed them, there's a job you like, just hit replay, okay, after the show, and it'll replay there. And then you hit stop on your screen and take down the details. But go to this page and you'll see all those jobs. There's a fire investigator for Synergy people. They've been advertising this for a long time. If you've experienced in general insurance, you'll snaffle this job. There's 2. Get in touch with them. Done Spouse Busters. G. Hughes and Associates in Brisbane looking for factional investigators. So great opportunity with G. Hughes and Associates. Don't miss that one. They're really good. You'll be at the top of the game if you're working G. Hughes. Get in touch with them. M&A Investigations are looking for surveillance and factional investigators in Western Australia. So a great opportunity to get in with one of the larger firms in Australia. We reviewed them about 3 weeks ago, M&A Investigations. So if you go back 3 episodes of Spy Curious, you can see all about them. ProCare are looking for investigators all around Australia. Great team at ProCare. I really like ProCare. Excellent people there. Get in touch with ProCare and see what opportunities they've got there. So look, there is opportunities galore out there in investigations in Australia this week. These are just some that have been advertised. I get asked constantly for investigators, and I put my students in touch with the employers that are asking. In fact, I was asked 3 times this week for factional investigators in New South Wales. So look, it's a great job. Study hard, get your license and start working for these people. In Victoria, they're screaming out for investigators. So really important. Here's one I forgot to mention. Pinkerton's, the oldest investigation agency in the world, are seeking investigators in Victoria. But they are a national company. I wouldn't discount them. MJM, they are after investigators Australia-wide. Great team at MJM. I really like them. I like ProCare. I like MJM. And at Adjustacore here on the Gold Coast, they're looking for investigators and have a junior position. You do not have to be a loss adjuster to get that job. So some wonderful opportunities in investigations, both surveillance and factual, all around Australia at the moment. Let's see what we've got coming up next.
सुन मैं वापस आ गया तू फिर से डरेगा जिस तरह फ्लॉप हुआ अब क्या करेगा मैं पहले से फेमस था.
Industry associations. Well, pour yourself a long cup of tea. I'm going to be here for the next hour just on these guys alone. Oh, boy. It's all happening in industry associations. So let's see where we're kicking off. The AIPI next week from March 18th to the March 19th have a virtual conference on. And you can jump online and pay your fee and join me watching that. I'll be in every single presentation. I'll be there watching. They do it by Zoom, and I'll smile and wave to you while we're watching that. It's they put on a very good program at the AIPI, so look out for that one. It's another one I'm going to be on at the same time. I think I'll have to have both screens going. Go back here for a second. So this is sponsored by Australian Security Academy graduate students, and this one's being conducted by Australian Security Academy graduate students. Oh, there's plenty of Australian Security Academy graduate students in this one as well. So this one's being conducted by them. It's a forensic spotlight by KPMG, and Michael Corey and Michael Bongers are going to be putting that on next week. I've signed up for it. That one's free. So don't miss out on it. It's continuous professional development, and that's what we do as investigators. The AILI have got their annual general insurance law review. Now, if you've never been to one of these, you have to go to one of these. There's one live and there's one online. Now, basically, this is a hotbed of randy young lawyers listening to barristers talk about last year's general insurance case law, and they really lay it on thick when they go to these programs. I was there in Melbourne a couple of years ago when they did this, and during a break, I was helping myself to the donuts and whipped cream and hundreds and thousands when the conversation beside me went something like this. Wow, I really like your dictum. Oh, I'll stop it. You're making me blush. Estoppel. And then a third one weighed in and said, well, hang on. If you're going to say no to that, then I'll subrogate with that. That's what they do. They overdo the lawyer stuff at these things. So it's really great to go along and see and listen to. And the people saying they were just the boys. The girls, they're worse. So it's a really great day. That only goes for a morning, but they have some of the best morning teas you've ever seen. Donuts and whipped cream doesn't get much better than that. And they spare no expense. It's all 5-star when it's the AILA. So if you want to see that for yourself, lawyers talking like that, and you get off on that sort of, go along and have a look at the AILA. It's really, really interesting. It'll make your eyes open, make your eyes water too. So that's the AILA. It's on Thursday, the 25th of March. And then they've got the online conference where nobody can get up to naughty bits in the breaks. And the 20th of April, you probably have to be in the private chat to be naughty. AISP have their annual general meeting next week, and it's Wednesday the week after next, Wednesday the 31st of March at Box Hill, the usual place, Box Hill RSL. If you want to go to that, it's going to cost you $35 per head, so that's $70 if you're Tasmanian. But you better let them know that you're coming because they've got to cater for it, so they want to get it right. And all the drinks are supplied and the meals supplied. Your $35 covers that, doesn't cover your membership fee, but that's their annual general meeting. So get along to that. So it's really great to see the AIPI doing great stuff for continuous professional development, KPMG doing excellent stuff with their forensic investigations for professional development out. This is beyond when you've done your course and your license. This is what you do to maintain your currency in the industry. And the AILA offering this one, it's a really good one if you're in general insurance. They go right through it, what's happening. On the downside this week, one of the industry associations has had a legal action taken against it. So ACLA, that's the Loss Adjusting Investigation Association, last night at around about 6 o'clock, legal action was commenced and they were served today at about 11:50. So there's an industry association that's got to lift its game a little bit. But AIPI, great industry association. KPMG, they do it really well. AILA, they do it really well. AISP, they do it really well. And they don't spread rumours and falsehoods about people at any of those. So that's what's happened in industry associations this week. Busy week. So where are we off to next? NANI? お前はもう死んでいる。We've got our missing persons now. We've got 2 people went missing in Victoria, up in the Alpine district of Victoria, around about exactly this time last year, almost to the week. Just trying to find my photograph of that. And Liz Hayes, she did a special with investigation in her investigation program in regards to that. And those people went missing in the Highlands, Alpine Highlands of Victoria. Here they are. Their name's Carol and Russell. Now, you may have seen during the week that basically it was said in the newspaper that a drone was found in Victoria's high country and it was in the area where Russell and Carol went missing. Now, that was reported in the newspaper last Saturday morning or last Friday night. It was directly after this program last week. We discussed a lot of things that were going on about that. Now, there may have been a drone there. The drones go missing all the time. They fly away and they've got to land somewhere. They're damn dangerous things. So that could have been the case. My bet is that basically the police told them that and told the newspapers that, and then they listened to the conversations between Hillbilly Billy Bob and Hillbilly John Boy and Hillbilly whoever else in relation to what they were saying about what happened on the 19th of March last year. So that's a common old police trick, is to give out that information and then listen to what the people who know about what happened said. So I don't think they actually found a drone. That's all it was. But we've got to look at the situations that we didn't cover last week in depth about the drone and about the 1080. Now, let's first look at the drone. How do they identify whose drone is actually what? So we looked last week and Russell's drone was very similar to this one. If you take the battery out of the drone, then all the ID of the drone is inside the drone there. So you can see it's got the QR code and it's got everything else. That identifies the drone. So that's how that works. It's also on your receipt when you buy it from JB Hi-Fi or the Good Guys or the camera shop, wherever you buy it from. It's going to be there. And when you buy that drone, this is the process that happens. So you take your drone home and you set it all up. So to get it set up and get it flying, you have to register it with DJI in China, and they will give you 1 year's free insurance on that drone, and that's done off the barcode or the QR code on the drone. So in order to connect all that up and to register your drone and receive that insurance, you have to go through that process. So on your home computer and in your email that you get confirming that you're now insured and your drone is now registered, all of that is on your home computer. Now, that warranty covers you for a full year, and you can buy extended warranties from it. And DJI stay in touch with you all the time about that, and they send out reminders. So all of that is recorded at DJI at Shenzhen Industries in China. So what they have there, and I explained last week, is you don't have to have the drone to see the flight records. You don't have to have the phone to see the flight records. They're all recorded and they're available over at DJI in China. Now, the Victorian police have the international connections and the Chinese-speaking police officers that can arrange all that information. So they can contact DJI in China and get the records of Russell's last flight. And if they're lucky, there might be a photograph on it as well. Now, I wouldn't go hanging my hat on that fact that that might exist. It's very unlikely. It's very hard to take photos high up over the trees of vehicles that are down in the bush and get a registration plate. Who knows? He might have got it. He might have been lucky. Someone was pissed off enough to go and burn his camp and destroy everything. So it might have just been a little bit too close for comfort in relation to what they were doing at the time. Now, what could they have been doing, and how can we put the pressure on them, just like by putting out press releases saying we found the drone, get them talking on the phone, and also how do they connect this back to who was doing what? Remember, they weren't in radio contact. Now, they may have been illegally shooting. They may have been growing crops. So let's have a look at the crop growing aspect. So to grow drug crops, you've got to put them in cages, or you've got to use 1080 to keep the herbivorous eating wallabies, wombats, possums, whatever, out of your drug crop and eating it all. So basically, 1080 poison is an insidious poison that just poisons everything. It gets into the water system. There are strict rules about where farmers can use it and where they can lay it. Only farmers can get it, right? So what happens is a farmer will get it and then he'll give some to his brother or his cousin or his nephew or whatever, and they will use it around their illegal dope crops, right? So you can't do that. So here is how to grow dope, freely available on Google, and this guy's a landowner, but he's instructing you, if you haven't got a farm, go out into the state forest and find yourself a nice north-facing slope near a river, all right? And then there's this guy here saying how to grow good stuff outdoors without getting caught, and underneath his photograph it says, everything I learned about growing dope I learned in prison. Now, in the College of Knowledge, they share this information about, we've got to have cages, and if cages aren't possible, we've got to have 1080. So whoever's given these people who are out there illegally growing dope in the state forest, the 1080, that has to be accounted for. Now, the records have to be kept, so they go and buy a certain quantity, a kilogram of it, and they use 750 grams or 20 litres, I don't know, whatever it is. That has to be kept. So if the police went around and started knocking on some doors and said, okay, we're here with the Department of Primary Industries, we want to see in your tractor shed where you keep your 1080. It says here you bought 10 litres and you've used 4. We want to see the other 6. And if they can't account for the other 6, where did it go? So that's how the pressure's got to be put back on these people that were doing that. And if you get enough police from the city who go up to locations in the country and they start knocking on doors and asking a whole lot of questions about 1080 poison quantity and where it is, especially if your city police are wearing turbans from other nationalities, which up in hillbilly land, they just will not swallow. It's going to put a lot of pressure on them, and it's going to get them talking on the phone to each other. They come around here in their turbans and they turn the house upside down. They walked around with metal detectors and this, that, and the other. If that sort of pressure starts coming on people, and it's all because of Billy Bob, and they start talking on the phone, that's going to be a really successful outcome for the police. Why is it taking so long? Well, there's a lot involved here, a hell of a lot, and it goes back to this one, and it's very tragic. It's very sad. The person was just driving along the road, and they noticed someone crawling across the road commando style in front of them. And that person who was crawling across the road was Bryce Ayres. Now, Bryce was going to be dead in about, I don't know, a minute and a half. And the person got out of their car. They didn't hit him. They got out of the car and they tried to help him. And he said that he'd been struck by lightning. Now, Bryce was walking home in the dark from the pub, doing the right thing like a decent person. And what happened is some shooters were driving along with their lights off. They didn't see him. They hit him, knocked him over, and then put the spotlight they were using to shoot with, to light up the deer with, on Bryce. Now, Bryce didn't know he got hit by a car. All he saw was a flash of light. So he thought he'd been struck by lightning, which is a really, really tragic thing to have happened. And the poor person who discovered him and found this and then called emergency service and police, it's a real rigmarole. So we've got Bryce being killed there. Now we've got 2 missing people in the same area. So the police have very delicate work to do in relation to this investigation, and I hope they have every success, and I hope they follow every avenue of inquiry. I think that 1081 is going to put a lot of pressure on people. That drone one is freely available over in DJI in China for anyone who just wants to ask for it. Okay, trying to brighten things back up now. It was very sad, wasn't it? Here we go. This one's absolutely brilliant. Here is Daisy Duff and Angela Brooks. Now, Daisy and Angela have put on the Queensland WorkCover website their own review of workers' compensation case law from last year. Now, it goes for an hour, and Daisy and Angela go through about 6 different cases in relation to what happened in workers' compensation in Queensland and what the judges' decisions were in those. There were 3 that won and 3 that lost. So they go right through that. Now, very capable young ladies. They're qualified lawyers. They're working workers' compensation. They look absolutely stunning and gorgeous, and this is the first one they've done. Now, you can just see the confidence in them, the knowledge of their work, and they are going to become rockstar royalty in workers' compensation over the coming years if they keep doing this. A couple of suggestions to help them out, probably maybe a little bit conservative, but that's what the lawyers want. Now, 10 years ago, it would have been unthinkable that you would have got online and did this. Okay, so don't be afraid to, put in some music at the beginning. Don't be afraid to have some short video in the middle of it and have a happy ending at the end of it. But you did a great job, girls. I was so impressed by that. I watched it. It's over in the link to it's in our comments section, so you can go and see that video. If you're a workers' compensation investigator, it's not just Queensland. It affects New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania, everywhere else as well. And they do a really good job of it, and I can only see that getting better and better. They're a great team. They work really well together. Probably should wear bow ties. That might help. I'm just a little bit of a, experienced 52 program person hint. But if you really want, you've got a spare hour while you're on surveillance and you want to listen to something podcast style, they've got, of course, they have the PowerPoint slides there. They don't read them verbatim or anything like that. But worth a listen to what Daisy and Angela do. Absolutely free. You don't have to pay for it. So that is a really worthwhile thing if you want to have a listen to it. I really enjoyed it. We've spoken about a couple of the cases in this program during the course of this program over the last 52 weeks. Let's see if it was... No, that's not it. I did have a photo of I thought I had a photo of a screenshot of their slides. Don't know what I've done with that. It's gone missing. Too many photos this week. So That's absolutely free. The link's over in the comment section. But if you can't find that, just get on to the, YouTube of Queensland Work Cover. And it's the first video there. And Daisy and Angela do a great job. Have a listen to it. You will not regret spending the hour listening to a couple of professional young ladies doing their things. Really good. Okay, got this little baby this week, and for years I've been searching for one of these things. This is a night vision video camera recorder, and it's also a digital still camera, and it's one that actually works. Now, I've bought a lot of these and they didn't work, right? This isn't an infrared camera. This is a night vision camera. So it's the Sionyx Aurora. As you can see, fits in the palm of my hand. Right? Very small. If you're going to be a long way away, this is no use to you whatsoever unless you can get a doubler and a tripler and a tripod and all that sort of thing. But if you are in an area where someone is basically stationary or working or whatever in the dark, and you're within, a good 15 to 20, 30 meters, this is going to be absolutely brilliant for you, and it works. So just before we start the video, I'll just give you a little quick example. This is inside my house. Now, on the right-hand side is my lower internal staircase, which is basically pitch black dark, except for some light that comes through a ventilator in the door. Now, for this thing to work, it needs some kind of light. It can be starlight, it can be moonlight, it can be a street light, car light, whatever, right? So that light is where the capability to see in the dark comes from. It does not have to be a spotlight, right? So as you can see on the left-hand side is my iPhone picture of the same picture taken with the camera on the right-hand side. So the Sionyx is on the right-hand side. My iPhone is on the left-hand side. As you can see, it's pitch black dark in there on the left-hand side, and the Sionyx camera has picked up an orange garbage bag sitting on top of a whole lot of coffee mugs in my stairs where nobody goes because it's pretty scary down there in the dark on the way to the garage. So it's a little storage area, handy for a quick posting of coffee mugs. But you can see the orange bag looks pink. So I'm not going to rely on colours or anything here. But what I'm saying to you is you just need some kind of light, a little bit of light coming through the ventilator in the door enabled me to take the photograph on the right. So let's have a look. We'll talk you through the video of how the Sionyx camera works. Here we go. This is our road test. So they say on their website, do it in the dark. The price of this was $1,415 sent by express post. This is a photo I've taken outside my front window. It's pitch black dark at dawn. So it works from the light entering the objective lens. It's transformed into a digital signal, and its sensor has a complementary metal oxide semiconductor sensor or a change coupled device variety. So it's pitch black down my lower internal staircase, and that's a photo I can take of a chair down there with a torch on it so I can see in the dark when the power goes off. And here's some mobile in the dark photos taken now. There goes a lady. She's going to try and take on that ute and overtake it over the speed hump. But, oh, no, there's a car coming down the hill, so she has to pull out of it. So she's pulled out of it. This is in the dark. Here's a photo, a screenshot of her as she went past. Now, I wouldn't rely on her wearing a pink dress. That may be red. But it's not a bad photo, giving me hair length, facial feature, silver watch, that sort of thing. So here's another person. Can we get an ID shot of this person in the passenger seat in the front, in the rain, in the dark? So there it goes from the moving shot past the hump sign outside my house. And as we look at a screenshot as he went past, I've got a couple of screenshots off the video there. Now, it's not perfect ID, but in the rain, in the dark, it's better than nothing. So it works on moving objects. I need to tweak the settings for that, and the rain didn't help. It will be brilliant on stationary subjects, working in the dark, in the garage or whatever. But like any technology, it takes practice. Here's a photo I took on surveillance in Byron Bay the other day. It works in the day too. So my personal opinion, based on the price, ease of use, size, and a whole load of fun, is yes, this is a surveillance camera that is going to be in the field useful. I've got a lot of playing with it to get my settings right, that sort of thing. but it does work. So for the price, I mean, $1,415. My first video camera cost me something like $14,000. I'm still paying that off. So this one's really, really good value, and it works. It's the easiest timing setting I've ever had on a video camera. So that was easy. All the settings are really easy to operate. I haven't got the connection with my iPhone on it yet because I haven't worked that out, but my grandson might be coming around next week and he'll be able to do all that for me. So that makes it a lot easier. So look, the Sionyx Aurora night vision camera. This isn't infrared. No. It's in color. So it's probably, if you find yourself continuously, like I always did, in situations where you wanted one but you never had one and they never worked anyway, now we've got the capability at a good price. So that's a little beauty, the Sionyx there. Really enjoyed that. I'm really looking forward to having some fun playing with it. And don't worry, I will be. So done that. Here we go. Here she is.
Hi Mike, it's Laura here again for Question of the Week. And this week's question is from Morgan. And Morgan would like to know if she can get recognition of prior learning for the Certificate 3 in Investigative Services qualification. Thank you.
Great question, Laura, and Morgan will receive a coffee mug for that. She would have got 2 coffee mugs if she recorded it on her phone and sent it in to me and emailed it to me, but she didn't. She got Laura to do it for her, so she gets 1 coffee mug. That's fine. I'm sure she'll enjoy it. The question is, can you get RPL for Certificate 3 in Investigative Services? This is the CPP 30619 qualification. This is new qualification. It's been out for 2 years. Okay, it's all about insurance investigation. Got nothing to do with criminal investigation. If you've been a criminal investigator, you can't get RPL for it. If you've been an insurance investigator, you can. If you don't believe me, go along and knock on ASQA's door, go up to an auditor and say, oh, look, I just got given this qualification on my criminal investigation experience, and see what happens. Everything in all the units of competency says must be able to take a workers' compensation statement, must be able to take a general insurance statement, must be able to write a general insurance report, must be able to write a bullying harassment report, must be able to conduct an insurance factual investigation, must be able to conduct an insurance surveillance investigation. Insurance surveillance investigation doesn't mean 17 police in 19 different cars. It means one person doing it specifically on their own. So you must have an insurance investigation background to get RPL for CPP 30619 now. That's the only way it is. You can't get it off a criminal investigation history. So be aware of that, and that is bulletproof at audit. Anytime after you receive your qualification, up to 6 months, you can be audited on it. And if they find that you don't have insurance investigation background, but you have a criminal investigation background, you were awarded that qualification, they'll take it off you, they'll shut down the RTO. So it's serious. Good question, Laura. Thanks for that. And I hope you enjoy your coffee mug, Morgan. One of the things we've been doing to combat arrogance and ignorance and bullying in the investigation industry in Australia is we've created a new Private Investigator Facebook page. And here it is. It's called Private Investigator Australia. Now, if you're looking for information about what's happening around the place, or a little bit of fun, or you enjoy your job, join this Facebook group. It's a little beauty. Each day we speak to the surveillance investigators as they're setting up in the morning for their day's work. Doesn't matter whether that's Monday through to Sunday, we say hello to them. They're up early, so are we, and we talk about different things in there. So this week we looked at surveillance vehicles, what the most popular surveillance vehicle was. We also asked people in an unprecedented manner, absolutely, it's never happened in social media in the investigation industry in Australia before, for people with a how could I put it, in-depth, sophisticated knowledge of investigations, if they could name one person who they respected and thought was an awesome investigator. And over 20 people did. That's quite amazing. Now, they did it anonymously. They have to do it anonymously because you can't get on there as a licensed private investigator and blab off on social media. But what we do is we get them to text it through to me, and I put it up as whatever state they're in, whatever what kind of agent they are. So it's a really interesting bit of fun. It's informative, it's educational, it's entertaining. So certainly get on there, and if you're looking for what's happening in social in investigations around Australia, there's also a few job vacancies there as well. Get on there. I think you'll enjoy it. It's refreshing to have private investigation social media where they aren't bitching about everybody else, attacking, racially slurring people, attacking women. This is a safe place to be a licensed private investigator on social media. So get on there and enjoy it. Geez, we get spammed a lot. We heck of a lot. So it's very popular. I think we'll hit about 1,000 members of that within probably the next 2 weeks. It's really growing rapidly. People are enjoying the networking and interaction that's on there. It's engaging, and it's not disparaging. It's not people being dicks. It's people networking and enjoying their career. That's a really great thing, and I'm really proud that we've got that happening and people have adopted it. It's been fun.
Harmanım, baba nerede çarşafım? Gördüğüm bu paketler benim dermanım. Hoppa yavaş.
So that's what it was all about, networking, empowerment, and really celebrating a great career. Just got to check all my things here to see if I've covered absolutely everything. Oh, yeah. Uber in the news this week. We're an investigation news program. A Uber driver, someone posing as a Uber driver, was found guilty of sexually assaulting 5 Queensland women. Now, this is really important. It isn't just Uber drivers. It isn't taxi drivers. It isn't just politicians. It isn't just doctors who are faked. They do it, private investigators as well. So just because someone's a licensed private investigator, don't think that they're a nice person. You should ever get into a car with them, right? Okay, there are perverts who are licensed private investigators that slip through the system just as much as there are pervert people that fake being doctors, lawyers, psychologists, and Uber drivers. I cannot. Sorry, it's hard to explain, but I'm continuously overwhelmed about the trust people put in people just because they call themselves a private investigator. That's something that's really important to consider in your thinking. So you don't have to be suspicious of everybody, but private investigation license doesn't mean you're a nice person. And you see that in 2 private investigation hate groups on social media that all they do is hate everybody, hate their own life, hate everybody else, attack people. We want networking and career celebration, not destruction for whatever sick means is out there. So people, that's our program for this week. I hope you enjoyed our little protest. It's good fun. I can't. As soon as I can attach this to a drone, the better. I'm working that out. Get the grandkids to show me how to do that. But been a very, very busy week in investigations. Thanks for watching. We're going out my favourite people.
작전 종료. 전원 복귀할 것.
Yes, that's how every surveillance investigation ends and every investigation agency in the world. Korean version. I'm Mike Evans to the Australian Security Academy. That was a great 52 anniversary week program. Really enjoyed presenting it. We'll be back next week with episode 33. See you then.